Welcome back to Checkmate with Blake. Pawn structure is something that is very misunderstood and very rarely studied. However, pawn structure is very important and it will help you win way more games. So the point of this video is I'm going to give you guys 5 different pawn structure secrets that will help you win more games and improve your elo. If you guys find this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like and let me know in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe and join the chess community that we have here. We're going to go ahead and get started. Again, I'm going to give you guys 5 different pawn structure lessons. And the last one is very, very helpful. So make sure that you stick until the end to see that one. So we'll go ahead and get started. In this one, what you're looking at is our king is all the way over here on b8. It is stranded here on b8. Meanwhile, their king is ready to come here and take these pawns and then push their pawns to win the game. So how do we stop them from winning the game? Because believe it or not, this position here that I have on the board is actually perfectly equal. But it's only equal if you play one move. What is that one move you should play, and what's the first lesson? You should use your pawns to control the enemy king. So, the first lesson in pawn structure is how do we stop this king from coming over here? Well, knowing that idea, simply we play the move g6. We stop the king from infiltrating, which gives us time to bring our king over here and draw this game. Don't believe me? We'll go ahead and go into an analysis on this first one because I want to give you guys an actual example of all of this. So the reason why we play the move g6 here is that if you notice, their best move in this position is actually the move f4, pawn f4. Now don't be quick and pull your king over here because actually if you do that, notice I'll play the move here. Notice we're actually completely losing after the move f5. And we'll kind of show why, in some of these later examples here. But the move you play here actually is you push this pawn to f5 to further stop them. And if they ever play a move like h3, well, now you're in time to bring your king over here and actually hold this game. Because even if they push and we go down this line here, notice it's still even across the board. And if they ever play this move, you can play here to kind of blockade the position. If they ever push the pawn thinking they're going to have a pass pawn, even if you take it and they push, your king is actually now in time to stop the pawn. So the first lesson, as I kind of showed here, is actually to use your pawn to control the king, which gives us time to bring our king over. Now the second lesson is that doubled pawns prevent movement. That's the key here. You may understand that doubled pawns are not generally something that you want in chess, although there are exceptions, and I can make a video for that if you guys want to see it. Let me know in the comments. But in this example, their doubled pawns here that they have are actually a very big weakness and are actually going to cause them to not win this game. So the move that we play here, knowing that they have these doubled pawns, how do we attack their doubled pawns? How do we attack them before their king can get over to solidify? You just bring the bishop here and you attack this pawn because even if they push, well, now you'll take and your king will get infiltrated and you'll push this pawn up the board and win the game. So we can use doubled pawns to prevent enemy movement. The third lesson here is that isolated pawns are targets. Now, if you look at this position, you might say, Blake, there's no isolated pawns in this position, so what are you talking about? Well, notice we have a bishop that's looking at their knight here. And if we were to take their knight, now when they recaptured, they have 2 doubled pawns. Well, not double pawns, sorry, they have isolated pawns, I mean. They have 2 isolated pawns. They're also pawn islands because there's no piece that can protect them. So, no pawn that can protect them, actually, is if you want to be specific. So we take here, and after they take back, you will push this pawn here, and you will take these and push them up to win the game. So, in the third one, you want to create these targets. You want to create isolated pawns. And why is it a target? Again, because they cannot defend this pawn, so now it becomes a target. If we go back a second, you'll see that their pawns are very well defended. They're defending each other. Although their knight can't move or you would take it, by taking it here now, you're activating your king and getting prepared to win this game. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, I got to finish this one out here. Okay, on to the next one. So the fourth one that I'm going to talk about, and this fourth concept, is that pawn islands lose positions. In this example, obviously they have these doubled pawns that are very, very weak. However, similar to the last one, we can take this knight because after they capture back, now they have 3 pawn islands. And these are weaknesses. These are targets, as I just said in the last one, for those who are paying attention. We'll go here now, and we will win these pawns and win the game. Now, the last one is kind of a culmination of all of these ideas. But I'm going to take a second here because this is also the most complicated one. And when I first looked at this, I considered a lot of different options. I considered maybe I should play the move rook d1. Maybe I should figure a way to activate my pieces. However, if we just pay attention to the other rules that I said about the isolated pawns and the doubled pawns, we will notice that we can actually force poor pawn structure, which is the last idea. We want to force poor pawn structure in this position. How do we do that? Because their pawns are very, very well placed. They're in a good spot. They have no weaknesses. So how can we do that? Because if we play here, that's not the correct move. I mean, notice I'll play it, so it says it's incorrect because they can play here, blockading our position. So what is the correct move in this position? Before I give you guys the answer, I want you to pause this video and try to solve it. Try to understand what are the weaknesses that they have in their position. How can we force poor pawn structure? Well, the move you want to play here is you actually want to push this pawn here, playing the move e5. Now, what does e5 accomplish? Well, you're attacking the rook, but you're also attacking this pawn. And if they were to move the rook, you could simply take this pawn. So, obviously, they're going to go ahead and take first. Now, it looks like just a sacrifice that we've made here. But what is the sacrifice accomplished? Well, first of all, it's created doubled pawns, which, as we've said, is a very big weakness. But more importantly, it's also created an isolated pawn here and an isolated pawn here, which are now targets. So you can now bring your knight in here. I'll go ahead and go back a second. Your knight is now perfectly placed to take this pawn. They cannot defend this pawn, and you're tempoing their rook. So after their rook moves, you will take this pawn, and you'll also be attacking both of these, but more importantly, also creating the potential for your pawns to push up the board. Now, one of my last videos I made a I think it was 5 pawn rules to instantly improve your chess. So if you don't understand how to win this position from here, go watch that video. In fact, I'll attach a link to the very end of this video so that you guys can go find it if you do enjoy it. If you enjoy this content, I think that will kind of help to further solidify your pawn knowledge. But those are the 5 rules. As a quick summary, you want to use your pawns to control the enemy king and also to control the position. Number 2 is use doubled pawns to prevent movement. 3 is isolated pawns are targets. 4 is pawn islands lose positions. And the last one is that we can force poor pawn structure. As you guys have seen here, we have forced their pawn structure to be horrible, meaning that we will win this game. If you guys found this video enjoyable, please leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this video if you enjoy this style of content, but also let me know what kind of content you guys would like to see in the next video, and I can do that as well. And lastly, if you have not subscribed to the channel, but you do enjoy my content, feel free to subscribe and join the community that we have here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and go win more chess games.